Hi, good morning. My name is Tara. I am a Saint artist and I wanted to share my Saint One Compact makeup with you. While I'm getting ready this morning, I use a contour color Aspen, which is this one here, to color correct my redness across my cheeks and down my nose. So I just wanted to hop on and show you how great this makeup is. So again, I use a contour color Aspen to color correct my redness across my nose or any other place that I may have any redness. I also use it up under my eyes just a little bit. And as I kind of mess with my nose a little bit, it'll get a little redder. And then as I finish up my makeup, you'll see that it calms down and that Aspen just neutralizes all of the redness in my nose. For those of you that maybe are new to Saint or maybe have never tried Saint, let me share with you why I love it so much. Obviously, I am maturing and I am now in my 40s, and this past couple years have noticed a huge difference in my skin. I was getting to the point where I could no longer wear liquid makeup, and when I found Saint, I was very hesitant. So for those of you that think, oh, I can't wear cream, there's no way. That was me. I did not think I would ever love a cream makeup. But what I will say is that once I started and I learned how to use cream makeup, I will never, ever, ever go back. My skin is the best that it has ever been. Probably in my entire life. Once I switched over completely, I threw away all my other makeup and solely use Saint at this point. And I just want to let everyone know about this makeup because I think that it is beautiful makeup. It also, I think, works for everybody. So right now, I'm not one that needs to use a primer. Some people use a primer. I just do a little bit of color correcting to start out. My under eyes here, I have dark circles under my eyes. So I use a little bit of Demi. Demi is our color correcting system. And I use this peachy color, which is called 03. And I'm gonna use that just mostly here in the corner and bring it down. And then whatever I have left over, I kind of just dab underneath the eye. But focusing mostly in that corner, inner corner, to cover those dark circles. Now, it's not gonna cover it completely. It's not gonna make those circles just disappear completely. But as I continue the process and finish my makeup, when I'm done, it is definitely camouflaged. So again, I just used a little bit of 03, which is a Demi color correcting. And I like to just kind of stipple that into the under eye area, being gentle. So as you can see, it really just kind of lightens up that a little bit and does a little bit of color correcting. My main shade, main highlight, so here at Saint, we call highlights, which would be a traditional foundation in a way. So the whole point of the Saint system is these little tins, and each tin you get to choose and customize what you would like into your palette. You would want, if you are one that likes to contour, then you would go ahead and pick a contour color. This is a bronzer, this is an illuminator, and I have 2 lip and cheeks in this particular little palette. And so I don't normally contour. I'm not a contour person unless I have a special event or I'm doing something special. So just for my day-to-day, I usually just use bronzer. So for today, what I'm gonna do is you go in with my main highlight color. My main highlight color is Athens. And let me show. We would normally then have a brightening highlight. So a main highlight and a brightening highlight, which would be your preference. 1 to 2 shades is what's recommended, lighter than your normal main highlight color. And the concept behind Saint is that between the contour, the main highlight, and the brightening highlight, those 3 together then form your foundation. So for me, I'm going to use Athens, which is a newer color for our main highlight. And I just very lightly begin to apply the main highlight in all the places that a man would grow a beard is where I start. And again, I just tap in to that main highlight color and then across my forehead. You may have seen some people have the little dots of different colors all over their face. I find that I like to use a little bit of the smaller brush. This is the blend brush. All of the brushes are double-ended. The brushes are amazing brushes. I'm a little bit of a brush snob, so I was very hesitant when I got my first set, but they are amazing brushes. And they are made for cream makeup, so they work very well with the Saint makeup. I'll be honest, when I very first started, I got the brushes first because I was looking for a new set of brushes, and I used these brushes with my regular makeup, and they still worked beautifully. But once I started using them with the actual cream makeup, it's amazing how wonderful they are. And I'm not just saying that, they truly are really great brushes. I'm not one that believes in trying to sell something just because I'm selling it. I would never just try to sell something because I'm selling it. I definitely am one that believes that I want to try it for myself first. I want to make sure that it's something that I love and would 100% stand behind before I went out and tried to get anyone else to buy any of the product. This makeup system has definitely changed my skin, and I am the happiest I've ever been with my skin. So it is truly a great, great makeup. So what I do is I just, again, very lightly dust that main highlight color all over. And then I go back in with my brightening highlight, and I am using Aurora as my brightening highlight. That's this one here. And it is just a couple shades lighter than Athens. And I'm gonna put that brightening highlight just down the T-zone and here on the eyes to help give a little lift. Okay, and then very lightly blend in all of that brightening. I like to blend as I go. That's just my preference. But if you are one that may like to do what they call the cheetah hack, which is the little dots of different colors all over your face, and then blend, that's great. One thing that I love about this makeup is there's really no right or wrong way to utilize the makeup. I'm going to use just a little bit of that brightening highlight in the corner of my eye, and whatever's left I'm going to tap onto the rest under my eye. So there is no wrong way to apply the makeup. I will say that for most people there is a little bit of a learning curve, and you do have to be very light-handed. It does not take much of this makeup to cover your face. And when I first got the first 10, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this gonna last me, like 2 weeks? And it does not, it lasts for months because you need so little of the makeup. So once I get my brightening and my main highlight on, I like to take my Beauty Blender and I like to just go a once over and make sure that I have everything blended in really nicely. And this way, if I missed anything, this will help make sure it's blended in. This will also help make sure that if I got too much in one area, it will help pick it up. It'll disperse it into a different area. So I just make sure I kind of just do a once over all over for that. I like to use Bella Bronzer, and Bella Bronzer looks a little bit scary in the tin, but don't be scared. It is the best bronzer I have ever used. Now, I like bronzer, so I definitely like to bronze up. And I just try to make kind of that C shape around my eye and then up into my forehead, always blending up into my hairline. Okay. And whenever I'm blending anything on my cheeks, or I'm always try to make sure that I'm blending up. Okay, and then I just kind of get to where I like how the bronzer looks. As you can see, it's really pretty. It's really dark in the tin, but it blends out very sheer. And so I know some of my customers, when I would recommend Bella Bronzer, they were really scared. But once they got it, it quickly becomes a lot of people's favorite product. There is no orange to it. Does not make you look orange at all whatsoever. I like to do bronzer down my neck also. I find that it helps just kind of camouflage, helps kind of match everything. My neck is a little bit light right now. My spray tan wore off. So I like to just use that bronzer to kind of just bring everything together. A little on the chin, a little across the nose, okay? So I just kind of go until I get that how I like it. Another thing that I really love about Saint makeup is you can use so many things for multiple different uses. One product you can use for maybe 2 or 3 different parts of your makeup. So once I get my bronzer on, I go ahead and I go back with that sponge again and just make sure that I have everything blended really, really well, and that bronzer is just very nicely blended in with that main highlight and brightening highlight, and that everything has blended in. As the cream is on my face and warms up, it just melts into my skin, and you use so light that when I touch my skin is not tacky, okay? That's probably the one thing that I had to get used to, is that it just takes so little of product. Okay, so for my eyebrows, I have a couple spots that are just a little bit sparse and kind of patchy. So I have a couple different options. I can use my contour color, which is olive, or I can use this eyeshadow, which is just a matte eyeshadow, and it is in the shade Oak. And I like to just use one of those, either the contour or my eyeshadow. And I like to just fill in some of those sparse areas so they're not quite so sparse. I used to never be a brow person. I could never really find the right shade for my brows, and so I kind of used to skip this step a lot. And now that I found something that works really well for me, now I don't ever skip it. So I like to just kind of fill in so that it just doesn't look quite so patchy. I'm not perfect. I'm not a professional makeup artist. I'm just somebody who really loves makeup. I've always loved makeup, and especially this makeup. I think that every woman needs to have this makeup. This makeup is just something that I enjoy. I enjoy putting on my makeup every day. I enjoy telling people about this makeup. I think that the people that have switched over to this makeup, they're extremely happy, and they love the makeup just as much as I do. So I love that. That's my favorite part of being part of Saint. Okay, so for what I'm going to use is a little bit of the cream illuminator. And this one is rose gold. And some people put it on with their fingers. I like to just take and put a little bit on the high point of my cheek with my brush. And again, I just very lightly, but the cream illuminator gives you this really pretty glow. And then I usually always take a little bit of the cream illuminator and just put that right underneath my brow. So a lot of times, Saint has wonderful eyeshadows. Their eyeshadows are great. They're super pigmented. There is little to no fallout with their eyeshadows. The eyeshadows are some of the best eyeshadows I've ever used, and I love them. Sometimes though, especially coming up on summer, I don't really want to do a full face of makeup every single day. So I will just utilize some of my Bella bronzer, which is this one here again, and I will just use some of that Bella bronzer right in the center, right at the crease of my eye, and just a little bit above. And I will just use this Bella bronzer as an eyeshadow or an eyeshadow base, depending on what look I'm going for that day. And I am in love with Bella bronzer. It is probably one of my most favorite products that we have. I think it's really versatile. I think that it can be used for so many things, and I love it as bronzer, but I love it as eyeshadow too. So I do this in the summertime, especially when I'm just looking for something to just add a little bit of dimension to my eye, give myself like I took a lot of time doing a really great eyeshadow look, but honestly, it just takes a couple seconds. I also use a lot of the lip and cheeks, which are also cream. I use those as eyeshadows all the time. Or part of my eyeshadow maybe is one of those colors. So as you can see, it just gives this really pretty bronze on the eyes, okay? And I used that illuminator underneath, so I come up almost to the brow bone, so I have just blending in where I had that illuminator also. And I have several eyeshadows that I love to use when I use the Bella bronzer. Foxy is a shimmer eyeshadow that's really pretty, but this is a powder illuminator. It's called Georgia, and I like to just take a little bit of Georgia on my finger and just put a little bit of that right all over my eyelid. And this just kind of is a nice bronzy, summery look. The Georgia Illuminator gives a little bit of a shimmer and kind of is just a little bit fun. If you're not somebody that likes shimmers, that's okay. You don't have to. If you're somebody that doesn't like eyeshadow in general, that's okay. You don't have to. That's what's great. You get to customize your palette for what you want in there, which is great. You're not buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't want or won't use. The other thing I love about the eyeshadows being sold individually is I get to create the eyeshadow palette that I want, and I'm gonna use every single color in my eyeshadow palette because I picked them, and I picked them because those are the ones that I wanted the most. So that is something that is really great. So again, just a really simple, and that was my Bella bronzer, and then a little bit of Georgia, which is a powder illuminator. So anyways, that went a little bit longer than I wanted to this morning, but I just wanted to let everybody know how great this makeup is. If you're interested in a color match, color matches are free. Please feel free to send me a message, and I'd be super excited and happy to color match you and get you started on your way to building your Saint palette. Have a great day. Bye.